What's up, everyone? Jeremy here with the Martial Arts Business Made Easy 90-day boot camp, and we're going to be diving into the week 3 curriculum. This is the last week of our foundational series where we spend the first couple of weeks diving into the mindsets, the personal systems, the foundational elements that allow us to move into implementing the tactical things inside our business that we'll be moving into starting in week 4. So, time management, being proactive, developing your master schedule. This is the last piece we're going to dive on, and this is very, very important. All right. Circling back to some of the really amazing goals that a lot of you set in week 1, we're going to have to be really, really effective in managing our time in order to pull all of this off. Okay. So when we are business owners, when we are entrepreneurs, we wear many hats, right? In our businesses, we have to invent, we have to have the dream and the vision. We have to be able to communicate that. We have to be the opportunist and take advantage when market conditions allow us to. And we have to execute on our vision, right? Not to mention all the little things inside of our business, like being the accountant and the instructor and the cleaner and the marketer and the salesperson and you name it, right? It's a blessing and a curse, but when we are entrepreneurs, when we are business owners, we have more great ideas than we have time and resources to take advantage of them. For these reasons, the use or misuse or the abuse by others of our time will determine the level of success that we can achieve. All right, so in other words, to what degree can we achieve peak productivity? All right, so if we have a lot to do, we've set these amazing goals, we know that we're going to really have to push ourselves. We know that we're going to have to grow and grow into the person that we need to become in order to get what we want, right? These are concepts we reviewed in weeks 1 and 2. We're going to have to, inside of that conversation, we're going to have to be absolutely, strictly, unbelievably disciplined with our time, right? We're going to have to shoot for peak productivity at all times. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so the first part of this conversation is the value of our time. Okay, to truly understand the cost of the activities we spend our time on, we have to first understand the value of our time. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is figure out what's the value of your time currently. Okay, and there's a couple different formulas we're going to do for this, all right? First one, I want you to divide your anticipated earnings this year, right? So whatever you expect to make this year realistically, divide that by the number of hours that you're going to work per week and multiply that by 51 weeks, all right? We're going to make the assumption that you're going to get a vacation in there somewhere this year, all right? So let's hope so. All right, so for example, if you anticipate you're going to earn $75,000 this year, which is about a little over $6,000 a month, and you work 55-hour weeks, then your current hourly rate is $26.73 an hour. Okay. Now, the second thing we want to do is understand the value of the time the value that we want to have on our time, right? So this is our current rate right now. Where do we want to be? Okay, so to do this, we're going to divide our goal earnings by the number of hours we hope to work in a week, and we're going to multiply that by 49 weeks because we're going to hope and assume that once you're living your dream and hitting your goal income, you're also getting to spend plenty of time with the family, taking vacations, and reaping, the fruit of what you planted here. Okay, so hopefully you get at least a vacation every 4 months. Okay, so in this example, let's say if your goal is to make $250,000 per year and you want to work 35-hour work weeks instead of 55-hour work weeks, then you want your time to be worth $145 per hour. Okay, so for you, what I first want you to do is go ahead and just pause this video and go through both of these, right? What do you anticipate you're going to make? Figure out that's your kind of real number right now on what your time is worth per hour. And then figure out your target, right? What do you want your time to be? And you'll see in this example, we're at about 4.5 times that we need to go from where we are to where we want to be, right? 4.5x our hourly rate. Okay. Now, once you've done this, if you want the value of your time to go 3x, 4x, 5x, even 10 or 20x, then your time must be respected. Okay? And this starts with you. Nobody's going to respect your time if you don't respect your time. And nobody's going to respect your time if you don't respect other people's time and show them how important this is to you, right? That means being punctual. When you say you're supposed to be somewhere, be there. Be there on time. Even be there a few minutes early if you can, to show people how much you respect your time, which is in turn going to give you the leverage to demand that other people respect your time. And that's going to come up a little bit further in this conversation. Okay, so circling back, you have to respect your own time first. Okay, so things like messing around on social media, killing time just throughout the day, watching cat videos on YouTube, right? Doing non-essential activities, whatever this might be. Let's just say, if you spend 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, another 10 minutes, another 20 minutes here, whatever it might be, 20 minutes just BSing about, the episode of Game of Thrones last night, right? Whatever it might be, let's say you spend 2 hours a day on things like this. That costs you, according to your current rate, let's say according to our example, that costs you $52 a day. All right? $52 a day of your time spent on social media, watching cat videos, doing things that don't really matter, that don't move you closer to your goals. Remember that conversation we had in weeks 1 and 2? Does it move me closer to my goals? If yes, execute. If no, terminate, right? Now, $52 a day, that's $260 a week and over $13,000 per year if you make $26 an hour and waste 2 hours a day. That is a lot of value in wasted time, right? Imagine if an employee was doing that. Imagine if you had a staffer that was just pissing away, lighting on fire $13,000 of your time, right, of your money every single year, right? We would be furious. We would be out of our minds, right, if we were getting ripped off like that. Yet, do we hold ourselves to that same standard? Okay, so this is the first time management mistake entrepreneurs make. They don't place a value on their time, and therefore they don't have any way to calculate, I guess, to calculate what it costs them when they do these non-essential things. Okay, so that's the first step here. All right, so now the next thing, take this at your new rate, right? If we're screwing around and we're kind of spending that 2 hours a day doing, just jerking around doing dumb stuff at $145 an hour, now that wasted time is costing us $725 per week and over $35,000 annually. Right? Think about that. But here's the funny thing. If we don't master our time and our schedule, and if we don't respect our time, if we don't have the self-discipline to cut out and eliminate the things that are in the way of us reaching our goals, then we're never going to move from that $26 an hour rate to the $145 an hour rate. It's not going to happen. Why? Because we keep pissing away 2 hours a week doing dumb stuff that's not important. Okay. Now, again, this is the example. This doesn't apply to everybody. For some of us, it might be more than 2 hours, right? Let's be very, very real. For some of us, we need a lot of discipline in our time, in our schedules. Some of us might be pretty good, and maybe we just need some tweaks here or there. Maybe there's just a half hour or 45 minutes a day that you could recover by being a little more efficient. All right. Now, one thing to note here, if you have not already downloaded the 15-minute tracker from week 2, go back and do that ASAP. All right, you're going to see when we talk about the homework for week 3, this is a little bit of a shorter curriculum. It's a shorter week because we're getting you guys ready to move into tactical with Donovan next week. So go ahead and catch up. If you haven't done the 15-minute tracker, go back and do that and find out and identify where you're wasting time, right? And actually, I'd even love to see you guys go through an entire week of doing this, 15 minutes increments for the entire week, and then go back and just highlight the wasted time and then apply your hourly rate to that and then post in the group how much time you wasted during the week that you tracked, right? How much it cost you, right? And just be honest. There's no judgment here. There's no nobody's going to get beat up, or made fun of. We're not going to call you out, right? But just kind of for the purposes of really recognizing, holy smokes, this is really expensive for me to be that inefficient with my time. right? So if anyone's up to the task, I'd love to see you guys go ahead and do that. Download this, highlight all the time wasting activity, and then let's put a dollar valuation on it. Let's quantify it and see exactly how much it costs us. Okay, so moving on, respecting our own time, right? So what does it mean to respect our own time? It's really simple. You want to spend as many hours as you possibly can doing pre-planned, this is very important, pre-planned, deliberate, actionable activities that move you towards your goals. All right, these are the types of things like your marketing and your sales, your systems and your processes, your staff training and your development, these things inside your business. If we're talking about your health, we're talking about getting to the gym, having a pre-planned workout, right? If unless you're going to a group class or something like that, right? Which I think is very efficient for people that are busy like us. We're talking about your nutrition, right? Knowing what you're going to eat so you don't end up really late having to just grab Taco Bell or Chick-fil-A on the way home because you ran out of time and you didn't have a plan in place. If we're talking about your relationship, planning date night ahead of time, planning time with the kids, planning these things out so you can take deliberate action, deliberate actionable, action towards your goals, right? But it has to be pre-planned, okay? And the cool thing about it is that your Unbeatable Lifestyle Journal is designed to make sure you do this. All right, again, we built it into there, right? All you have to do is go through that thing page by page by page. Every single day, you're going to be pre-planning, right? The next day with your must-do activities. You're going to be making sure you hit all the check marks for the day, hitting your gratitude, making sure you learn something. And then once you get to the end of the week, Sunday, you reset, plan for the week, and you do it again, right? So once again, circling back to week 2, if you just do your journal, then you will be pre-planning these things and you will be respecting your time. All right. Okay, now once you have a value on your current time, okay, so in our example, let's say it's $26 an hour, the next step is to eliminate the need for doing or to delegate the tasks and activities that cannot and do not match up with this value. All right, so in other words, 1, create a system for these activities. 2, hire and train somebody else to do them, right, at a lower rate. So if you make $26 an hour and you're doing something that you could very easily create a checklist for and then hire someone else to do it for $15 or $12 or $10 an hour, then you need to do that because every hour that you spend doing that costs you the difference, right? So if your goal is to make if your current rate is $26 an hour and your goal is to make 100 plus, you need to be doing things that are going to move you from 26 to 100 plus. All right, and mopping the floors at your school, or changing out the toilet paper, or doing things of that nature. Those are $10 an hour activities that do not move you closer to making $100+ an hour, right? So if that's your goal, you have to get that off your plate as soon as possible. Okay. Once you respect your time, only then can you demand that others respect your time. Okay, and this is a crucial step, and you do have to demand it. Okay, and you're going to have to train some people. All right, there's time wasters in your life. There's going to be time wasters in your schedule, and they're not evil. They're not mean. They're not malicious. They're not vicious, cold-hearted people, but they are, not to be, not to kind of be frank here, but they are squatting on your dreams, right? They are, every time they waste your time, they are costing you valuable time and money that we don't have to waste, right? We have amazing things to do. We have set some really big goals for ourselves, and we've put a value on our time, and we just quite simply do not have time to waste. All right, so these different time wasters, right? There's so many of them, but a couple of examples. There's the, hey, you got a minute guy, right? There's a let's have a meeting about everything guy, right? There's the, hey, let's chit chat about absolutely nothing at all for 10, 20, 30 minutes at a time guy, right? The people that are just trying to waste time so they can avoid doing the hard things, the things that we've trained our minds and disciplined ourselves to do first. Others will try to avoid, and they're going to try to drag you down into this time-wasting pit with them, right? There's the everything is a super dramatic event guy, right, or gal. Here's the thing. Once you have disciplined yourself to respect your own time, if you do not discipline those around you to respect your time as well, they will cost you just as much, if not more. All right, and again, they're not evil and they're not malicious, but they are absolutely attacking your schedule, and they are in the damn way when you allow them to be by doing these types of things. All right. So once again, we put a value on our time, right? And when we realize that these things are getting in the way, right? These little needs that other people have could be costing us hundreds of dollars a day, right? If not addressed. Okay. So here's some tips for you. All right. So teaching others to respect your time. Here's a couple of scripts, right, that you can borrow, right? So let's say you have the person that likes to chat way too much. When you've identified this person, and I've actually learned to do this with just about every meeting, every conversation, every single time my phone rings, whether I know who it is or not, I look at the clock, I round up, and I answer the phone and say, hey, what's going on? Actually, I have a meeting starting in 6 minutes, but I wanted to take your call real quick. What's up? How can I help you? All right. And I've just given myself the out, right? If and when I need to take it. And I almost always do, right? So this sets up kind of a pre-frame that says, hey, you don't have my permission, or I don't have the freedom to sit here and chat forever if that's what your intention is, right? And we can get right down to business. All right, here's another one for the person that keeps popping in over and over and over again with these little questions or these little comments or these like, hey, this will only take a second, right? You can say to them, hey, listen, I'm really slammed right now. I'll tell you what, let's meet at 2 p.m. for 15 minutes and we'll address everything on your list at once. How does that sound? All right, and now instead of them popping in, leaving, popping in, leaving, popping in, leaving, right? You can address everything that they have in simple 15-minute meeting and be done with it. Here's the cool thing though. Once you tell them that, hey, you can't meet till 2 p.m., if they don't want to wait till 2 p.m., guess what they'll probably do? They'll probably just go figure out how to solve the problem themselves, right? They'll look for the manual, they'll Google it, they'll even just take 30 seconds and think about it and then actually come up with a solution on their own, instead of relying on you, right? And by repeatedly turning your attention to them over and over and over, you're actually enabling this habit because they know they can just come to you each time. All right. So this one's a huge game changer because it takes us mentally, right, in our minds, it takes us between 5 and 10 minutes every time we have to switch focus, right? So when you're really dialed in on a task, that's why we talk about when you're doing your hard thing, when you're doing your key activity that's really going to move you towards your goals, we need to have phones off and tucked away. No Facebook Messenger open, no ability to contact you. Your schedule has it blocked off. Do not disturb, door locked. Like, leave me the hell alone. I am jamming out right now. I'm working, right? And if you distract me, it's going to cost me 10 minutes to shift and figure out what it is that you're talking about that you want to do. And then it's going to cost me another 10 minutes to shift back into focus and try to get back into that zone, if I can even get back into that same zone that I was in, right? So every time it costs you 10 to 20 minutes of focus, right? And we now know the value of that. Okay, so, hey, do you have a second? No, I don't. I'm really slammed. Let's meet at 2 for 15 minutes and we'll address everything at once. How's that sound? Right? And then I bet you $50 the meeting at 2 doesn't even have to happen because they figure it out on their own. Okay, for the person that's super dramatic about everything, right? And I think we all know somebody like this. Hey, I'm unbelievably busy today and I can only address things that on a scale of 1 to 10 of importance are like a 9 or a 10. So, are you convinced that what you need to discuss is a 9 or a 10? If not, we'll have to wait till tomorrow. I hope that's okay. Okay, and then guess what? By tomorrow, it probably won't be so dramatic anyways, and you won't even have to have the conversation because they'll cool their jets. All right, so these scripts are borrowed and modeled after Dan Kennedy's Time Management for Entrepreneurs scripts. They're really, really good. I use these all the time. I'm very firm with my time. And the cool thing is that after, I don't do it in a rude way. I just do it in a very firm and a very direct way. And people pick up on it. Like, people now, like, even when we kind of have a meeting, like, they'll even kind of pre-frame and say, hey, I know you're super busy, or hey, I promise that, this meeting, it'll be super fast. Even when we have it scheduled, right? They'll try to get it done early. People stop popping in. People stop trying to interrupt me, because they figured out that I just won't tolerate it. So this is very effective. You don't have to be a jerk about it, unless someone's being a jerk about disrespecting your time. But you can be firm, and you can put your goals and your needs and your priorities ahead of others, especially if you've pre-planned them and you're very, very clear on what your goals are and what you have to be doing. Okay. All right, so the next thing is time blocking, okay? This is a skill that we must master in order to achieve maximum productivity and hit our goals for time value. All right, time blocking. The overwhelming majority of successful entrepreneurs are very strict practitioners of this. Okay, it's very rare that you see someone that just kind of casually goes through the day reacting to whatever pops up, just kind of putting out fires or just kind of reacting on the fly to whatever pops up. It's very rare to find one of them that's extremely successful, right? The most successful people time block. Okay, and if they're not super organized, they at least have this system, or they have an admin, or they have a secretary, or somebody that can implement this for them and help them implement this. All right, so you have to absolutely learn to plan your days and weeks in advance and in blocks. Okay, this allows you to look at your entire week and examine where your time is being spent, right? And if that allocation of time will lead you toward your goals, right? So when we talk about time blocking, we're saying, all right, I need to spend no less than 4 hours a week on systems in my business. All right, cool. So then you look at a weekly calendar, right? You have the entire week laid out in front of you and say, where are these 4 hours? These are going to be 4 1-hour blocks. Where am I going to put them? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at noon. Boom, they're on there, done. All right. Then you might say, all right, I need to spend 2 hours a week working with my staff. One of those hours is going to be role playing when new parents and students come into the school. One of those is going to be just reviewing systems and processes inside the business. All right, where are those 2 hours going to go? Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Boom, on the calendar, blocked off. Okay. All right, I need to be going to the gym 5 days a week, doing cardio twice, yoga twice, and then the fifth one I can do whatever I want. Cool. Where do these go? All right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to do those in the evenings at 5 p.m., right? Whatever it is for you, but literally blocking out your entire calendar, setting appointments for yourself that you will fiercely protect and that you will stick to, because you've already reverse engineered what you want your deathbed conversation to look like, your 10-year goal, your 5-year goal, 3, 2, 1, quarterly, weekly, and you know what you need to be doing in order to hit those goals. And if you skip the gym this one time, then it takes us back to success is just making correct decisions, small correct decisions over and over and over again, right? And just sticking to this time block. That's all you're going to have to do. And the same way is true for failure, right? Making small incorrect decisions over and over and over again. All right, so time block. Find out what you need to be doing in order to achieve your goals. Block it off, make appointments, and get it done. Okay? Then you can ask yourself, am I spending the right amount of time on systems and processes? Am I investing in my staff? Am I working on my own personal development, right? Am I reading, books about learning how to be a better leader, a better communicator, learning to, enhance my core competency inside my business, learning, new marketing and sales skills, right? Am I working on those things in addition? Okay, where are those blocked off in my schedule? All right, so here's some items to block off, right? Just kind of some examples here. The phones, right? So unless you're the only salesperson for your business, you should not be answering incoming calls, right? Those are hugely distracting, okay? Time block a couple of different windows, maybe 15 to 30 minute windows, depending on, what you need to do. Time block to return calls, right? You might have some sort of emergency line. Oh, excuse me. Where if it's a true emergency, they text you, or you give somebody a special ring or something like that, or a special number. But otherwise, return calls on your schedule, right? Don't be reactive. And honestly, even if you are the only salesperson, this still might be something you consider, right? If you have a nice voicemail system set up when somebody calls in and they want to sign up their child for your program, if you're returning, if you block off 45 minutes a day to return sales calls and prospect, that still would probably enhance your efficiency 10x more than just responding to calls all the time as they come in and having to shift your focus to answer the phone all the time. Okay, same things with emails. Check and respond to emails twice per day, right? On your own time, block this time. The rest of the time, ignore them, right? Do not check it. It's such a habit to check your email and kind of pop in there, and say, hey, have I gotten anything? And then you do get something and you realize, oh, so-and-so needs this. And then you go down that rabbit hole and you spend 20 minutes trying to get this for them. And you're supposed to be doing something else right now, right? Check and respond to them twice per day and not first thing in the morning, right? Remember, we do our most important tasks first. Our most important, the tasks that we have deemed most important based on our goals and the action items that we've pre-planned. All right. So if we check email, then we immediately give up control of our focus right at the start of the day, and we give that up to what somebody else needs us to do. Do not make this mistake. This is crucial for you to learn and implement, right? Email, the first time you check your email doesn't have to be till 9 or 10 o'clock, right? And then you can do it again at maybe 2 or 3 or 4, right? It does not have to be first thing in the morning. Everybody will live if you don't check your email until 9 or 9:30 a.m. every single day. Okay, time block systems and processes. Remember, this is the difference between having a job and a business, okay? These are extremely important, all right? Block off 1 hour per day to work on these and protect that appointment like it was your only living heir, right? Your only child. This hour is so valuable and important to you. This is where you build your freaking business, okay? Systems, processes, block them off, stick to them. Be creating some sort of checklist or manual or reference or something that's going to outline how the next person can do the job just as well as you do it. The same way McDonald's does. Okay, some other things you could time block. Staff training, right? Your people are what are going to allow you or allow your business to run without you, right? The people are going to be the ones that implement the systems and processes that you build. All right, invest in them just like you invest in your systems and processes, and they will pay off for you. Okay, time block it. Personal development. Jim Rohn says if you learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job, that's when you begin to make a fortune. All right, make sure you're investing in yourself. Again, leadership skills, communication skills, teamwork skills, right? Identifying your strengths and your weaknesses, bringing your weaknesses up to a level of competency, right? And then really doubling down on your strengths, right? Knowing what you're great at and really reinvesting in that. Surrounding yourself with people that are good where you're weak. That's a great strategy here. Part of this personal development is being self-aware, right? Having emotional intelligence and knowing, hey, here's where I'm great. Here's where I kind of suck. And I need to hire somebody that's really great in this area because we're going to be way more efficient as a team. Right, so very important. Spend this time in personal development, right? And then whatever other things are important to you and your business, right? Important to your life. Time block those as well. Set those appointments. Okay. We got a couple more things here. Personal development, your fitness. That's also super important, right? Remember, your investment into your body, that determines the amount of energy that you're going to have to put into other goals, right? So make sure to make this investment wisely, right? Block it off. Put gym time. Put yoga time, jogging outside, whatever sort of fitness that you want to do, make sure it's in there. Or even just taking your own martial arts class, taking your own black belt class sometimes when a different student's teaching, right? That's a great workout. Family time, downtime, block these things off as well, right? You want to avoid burnout. You want to make sure that your why, right, the reason you're doing these things that we talked about in week 1, make sure that stays front of mind, right? So go ahead and time block that as well. Okay, so we told you this one is going to be a little bit shorter. All right, guys, so summarizing time management. In business, there are good strategies poorly executed. There are poor strategies executed well, but very rarely is there a true revolutionary strategy. Okay, another Dan Kennedy quote. He's one of my favorite on time management. Guys, reading these slides, watching this video, it's going to do you absolutely no good if you don't execute. Okay, execution will separate the winners from the losers. All right, in life, in business, in sports, in relationships, in achieving goals, it's all about the execution. All right, it's all about just getting it done. Okay, execution will separate those that stay at $26 an hour from example number 1 from those that move to the $145 an hour value and beyond, right? And get the 3-4 vacations a year and only have to work 35 hours a week. Execution is what's going to make that happen for you. Execution is the key to achieving all of the amazing goals that you set in week 1. Okay, so remember, when you choose not to execute, and you do make the choice if you don't execute on this. You choose to not respect your time. When you choose to not demand that others respect your time, you are, by doing this, you are choosing to say no to your goals. It's very important to understand that, right? If we don't execute, if we don't respect our time, if we don't demand that others respect our time, we are saying, hey, my goals, they can wait. They're not important to me right now at this moment. Not as important as whatever the hell it is that I'm putting in front of them at this time. Okay, it's always your decision to make, but just be aware that you are making that decision. All right, make sure you're choosing to execute. Very, very, very important. All right, guys, get this stuff done. Don't just do this. As soon as the video is over, spend the next hour. In fact, time block, when you guys time block to watch this curriculum, time block the next hour immediately to go right into execution and just say execute on that week's curriculum and just go. Don't think it's fresh in your mind. Just do it. All right. Okay, homework. Here we go. Take this week to catch up on week 1 and week 2 stuff. A lot of you guys, if you haven't posted yet, do it now. Get it done. Execute. Make the choice. Okay, execute on your 15-minute time tracker if you haven't already. In addition to that, I'm going to put it right here. Whoops. Boom, right here. And post the cost of wasted time during the week using your calculated hourly rate this year. All right, so find out 15 minutes, how many hours of wasted time did we end up with a week, and then post in the group the cost of that wasted time. Okay, and then memorize the 3 scripts, right? Those are going to be huge tools for you. Memorize them. Try to use them here. Try to use it next time you take a call from an unknown number or from someone that you know might need something from you. Give it a shot and answer, right? Hey, Jim, what's going on? Listen, I have a meeting starting in, 5 minutes. But I wanted to take your call real quick. What can I do for you? Boom, give it a shot. Give it a shot. See how effective that is at saving your time, right? Making sure that you're being as effective as possible, right? Or don't take the call and call it back on your own time, okay? Next week, guys, we're going to get tactical, okay? We're diving into, with Donovan, we're diving into the sensory package, okay? The way your business looks, feels, smells, sounds, that first impression that we set, and we only get one opportunity at it, so it is crucial. Why these things matter, the effect they have on your bottom line, and how to make the changes you need to make. Donovan's got some really amazing checklists and systems here for these things. He does an absolutely stellar job at making sure that his business looks tip-top at all times. And you guys are going to get all the details, all the secret sauce starting next week. Okay, this week for questions and answers, guys, because we are now pre-recording these videos so you guys can watch them early if you want to watch them early, late if you want to watch them late. Q&A now is going to be done just inside the group. All right, so whatever questions y'all have, remember, post them in the group, tag myself, tag Donovan, or just pop it in there with hashtag AskCoach, and we will circle back and answer it. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed week 3. Again, we wanted to make this one a little bit shorter so you could jam and execute and catch up on some of the stuff. Weeks 1 through 3. Make sure we are not falling behind already. If we're already falling behind, guys, that is a huge problem, okay? And you need to ask yourself, whatever the reason is that we've fallen behind, are you going to settle for that? Are you going to accept that as valid? Or are you going to say, no, that's BS. I don't accept reasons. I want results, right? And those only come from execution. They only come from actually getting it done. All right, so circle back, catch up, week 1, week 2, post in the group, get the homework done, all right, guys, because next week we're starting to turn up the heat a little bit. We're moving into this tactical stuff. All right, hope you guys have an awesome week, and we'll chat soon.